Hey, what's up, everybody? All right, we back again with part 3 on the TradingView breakdown. About to get into the drawing tools. That little toolbar over on the left side there. We're gonna see what we can do with that. There's a lot of stuff there, so I'm gonna try to talk fast. I'm gonna try to get through it. I'm not gonna like break down what exactly every little thing is. Try to blow this up a little bit so everybody watching on mobile so you can see it. Turn that off a little bit. Let's hide that. Zoomy this out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hide I'm gonna hide all that. You know what? All that. We're gonna hide everything. All right, so we're looking over here at this toolbar on the left, which is the drawing tools. It's where you want to go if you want to get your Leonardo da Vinci on. You want to get a little Mona Lisa going on the chart. Maybe start drawing your little three amigos, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I could tell y'all look like the artistic type. I know. We all know. So over here, we got our big old 96 box of crayons. Not that cheap rose art stuff. We doing Crayola all day right here. So this first one right here, this is just your cursor. We got the cross. You can go to the dot. Hit up the arrow, which is kind of lame because it's basically the same arrow that you're always using. Then you got the eraser if you want to erase stuff. Not sure why you'd want to do that. I mean, if you're drawing it on here, it's a freaking masterpiece. Ain't nobody erasing masterpiece. All right, whatever. So the first one at the top, and before I go into all these little yellow stars, if you didn't catch in a previous video, that's how to mark a tool as a favorite. Obviously, this is the shortcut keys, so you don't even have to go into the menu. Once you hit the star on something and it goes into the favorite, come down here to the bottom, hit your little star icon. And you got this nice little handy dandy mobile favorite toolbar where you can just get to all your favorite stuff super fast. If you're using this on mobile, though, it can really get in the way. Because obviously on mobile, you got a little screen. There's not a lot of room. And especially if you got Market Cipher going, I mean, that's taking up like a third of the screen already just for Market Cipher B. But first and foremost, if you don't know trend line, I mean, what you doing? That's just the most basic thing. I'm sure anybody who's watching any kind of videos on YouTube, doing anything with TradingView, you ought to know the trend line. It's the most basic little line that you can use for support, resistance, all that good stuff. Now, when you're drawing these things, obviously you can go back, you can move things if you click the little anchor points on the ends. But if you're doing this, if you hold the control key, you could snap to the end of the candle. Come in here a little closer, you can see goes to the wick. If you move up, you go to the body, all that good stuff. So that's just your little tip of the day here for drawing. Or you could turn the anchor on, turn your magnet on, I mean, and you actually have weak magnet, strong magnet, weak magnet. Let me get back to the trend line here. God, that's terrible. All right. Come back here. You can notice when you get close, it snaps to it. But when you pull away, you could draw out here in outer space again. That's the weak magnet. If you turn on the strong magnet, no matter where you're at, it's going to snap to the candles, regardless how far away you are. So that's how that's going. Come back over here. We got the arrow. And I still have the magnet on. First point's going to be the end of your arrow. Second point's going to be, what you're pointing to. Obviously, all this stuff, you can change colors. You got a bunch of different little options for everything. Ray is going to be like your trend line, except it's going to continue off into infinity, beyond the second point. So there's your point 1. There's your point 2. Infinity and beyond. Look at that. Get rid of this guy right here. And I guess I might as well hit this here while we're doing this. So you draw your line. You're going to get this little options toolbar up here. Templates is where you could save settings. If you want to have a special color, thickness, dotted line, all that good stuff, and you want to like name your preset settings. You got your color, your opacity. 1, 2, 3, 4 point. You know, you go from your thin little line to the big old thick guy. Line, dash line, dotted line, setting to get your coordinates. You can put a little note next to it, tell it, you know, the alignment. Extend left, as you can see there, extend it out to the left, extends it out to the right, like array. Middle point, price labels, you know, where each of those anchor points is. Range bars, yeah, I mean, all this stuff's pretty much straightforward. You know, show distance and angle. It's going to give you this little guy, but there's something else for that here in a sec. Always show stats. You don't necessarily need to turn it on just for the trend lines because you have an info line for all y'all out there fighting the info war. And obviously it tells you, you know, your loss gain. I think that's like, what the hell is that? I don't know, whatever. And then, you know, your distance in your time scale, how many bars, equates that to days, hours, distance, 183 pixels, although I doubt anybody's actually drawing in pixels on here. And then your angle, 41 degrees. Why you'd want to know that it's 41 degrees, I don't know, but that certainly sounds warmer than it is outside right now. So it don't sound half bad. Come down here, you got extended line, same as a trend line, but it's going off in both directions. It goes both ways. Wink, wink. Trend angle, again, same thing. It's just it automatically tells you what the angle is. You know, gives you your little your zero line with the dimensioned arc right there. Horizontal line, just heading off down the horizon. Got the same thing, but vertical, cross line, self-explanatory, going both ways. Come down here, now you got parallel channel. This one's actually fairly useful because rather than drawing a line up here, drawing a line down here, you could take this, draw your little bottom line, and boom. Just come up, extend it. They're perfectly parallel. Even gives you a little shading and a midpoint line. You know, you're living fancy now. You're living fancy. But it's going to get fancier. All right, come on, ride with me here. What do we got? Regression trend. And this, you're basically just picking your time range, and it automatically snaps it on there. And that's going to give you your like average or median price between highs and lows for this range. So from, you know, from here to here, it's calculating with those candles. And then I guess I'll just go into this real quick. You know, you change your colors, but upper deviation, lower deviation, as you can see, takes that up. Or you could turn those off, and you'll notice it just goes to the high, goes to the low. Personally, I don't know which one's necessarily better. I've never really used it, but if I find something interesting on it, maybe I'll bring it back up at a future time, but that's what it is. All right. You know, speaking of regressions, if anybody out there watches like Into the Cryptoverse, and he's got that big regression chart with the overall like Bitcoin all time, that one's actually kind of interesting and definitely a little bit more useful. I think you have to pay for having it like up to the current candles, but there is a free version out there in TradingView, and it only goes up to like a few months back or something like that, or a few weeks back, I don't know. But flat top and bottom is, say you're drawing like this guy right here, and then you automatically get a flat top. So if you're doing your little rising wedge, does that for you. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Disjointed channel. Gives you like a narrowing, almost like a narrowing isometric flag, which you can even do the extension beyond if you so feel like it. You know, you go up, down, left, right, come back, go the other direction. I don't know, never really use it, but it's there. It's there for you. TradingView is just so nice and considerate. Then you got this anchored VWOP. Not to be confused with the Market Cipher VWOP over there in Market Cipher B. Let's say we pick a range here. We'll do the whole thing. Go from there, automatically goes to the end. And it almost looks like a Bollinger Band. Looks like you got a median right here. I'm not 100% on this one. I know there's a VWAP in Market Cipher SR, the support and resistance. And I kind of know what that is. I actually knew better when I broke it down in the previous video after I messed it up in the video. Shout out to myself on that one, screwing that one up. But found out what it was after, and I really didn't care that much, so I pretty much already forgot by now. So that's what that is. If you're going to do something like that, you might as well just throw the Bollinger Band on there. I mean, why not? Now, that is our fancy little, like trend line drawing, our crayons. Now we're getting into the colored pencils. We're getting into the fancy stuff. So you're going to have to learn to color inside the lines. I mean, I'm sure you're adults by now, and you get to this point, you better be learning to color in the lines, or I'm going to have to tell your mom and she's going to take your coloring book away, because that's just ridiculous. But over here, we start getting into all the Fibonacci type stuff. Basically, all of these are ways of having these tools show you potential support and resistance lines. Like, it's good for spotting out potential reversal lines. Very common like percentage moves that, since most people use them, they tend to get, or tend to be more accurate more often. Fibonacci retracement. If you don't know, go and watch my video on Fibonacci retracements. I'll show you this one right here, looking fresh to death with the color scheme, nice and swanky. Go watch that video if you want to know about it. Did a whole video on it, so not going to waste time on it now. But trend-based fib extension. I don't think I talked about this one in the video. So let's say you came from your swing low here to this. Pretend maybe we just started coming down from here. And you'll notice, rather than drawing it between the 2 points, it's extending out beyond that point. So let's say you just went straight to, where that high was. None of this existed yet. Let's say we started coming down here and you want to know, okay, where is it likely to continue up to? Because if you think about it, you're drawing a Fibonacci retracement. If you're drawing it like a regular one, let's just say, down here or something like that, and there's no candles over here, you have really nothing to go off of. You have nothing to drag, your 100% line up to, because nothing up there exists. And this kind of gives you a rough idea of, maybe some potential resistance lines or support lines if you're going the other direction, or possible reversals. Now, I haven't set this one up a golden pocket or anything like this. This is just fresh out of the box unboxing video right here with the trend-based fib extension. I haven't used it much, but I'd be curious to try it out, should I actually remember to. Now, Pitchfork, I will actually be having a video coming up fairly soon here. I've been playing around with Pitchfork a lot. It's one of those things where it's tough to get it quite right when you're drawing it. So let's say I'm going to do a big one here. Say we went from, you got to do 3 points. One to your low, and then it says to the next high. So let's say we went to this high. Boom, there you go. We got our Pitchfork. I've kind of played with the color settings a little bit, but now you'll notice over here we have Pitchfork, Shift Pitchfork, Modified Shift Pitchfork, and Inside Pitchfork. Ah, damn tongue twister, and I'm thirsty. You don't really need to draw like any of the other three. I mean, you like right from here, you can if you want. But if you draw a regular pitchfork, you could come in here and you can change it using the same 3 points that you already drew, just using these little menu options. Now in this case, because it's such a steep one up here, the inside, which would usually be a very acute angle, actually turned out to be just about the right one. You can kind of see we got a little action here, a little action there, a little action there, a little action there, a little action there. Not terribly bad, not terribly bad at all. And basically, if you watch this, red line right here, this is your median line, your upper median, lower median. Then you just got these little halfway points at 50%. You can, just like the Fib retracement, you can change these values or add what you want. I was playing around. I added little golden pockets in there. Say you start going beyond where you're at, you could throw in the 1.5 and the 2. In this case, I came right up to the 1.5 over here. Obviously, it gets a bit cumbersome, just hanging out all over the place like that. But if you change this, what you're really changing is where this median line is pointing, which then these are parallel to, which changes the way that everything's pointing. But let's go to the original. So from our first point through the midpoint of the line connecting our the other 2 points that we selected, go to the shift. Now it takes this median, extends it out. It's not quite half across this. Oh, okay, here. So the end of this line goes up to be even with the halfway point of this first line. And then modified shift, it actually snaps to, like shortens itself up and snaps to the midpoint on this line, which you can see how it's kind of changing our crazy angle here. And then inside actually snaps these so they're perpendicular. So you have a little 90-degree angle here, and then they add this little line in there. And that is the basics of the pitchfork. I kind of just broke it down, but when I do the further video, we'll play around with the best way to draw it, and which points to pick and which style to use. So again, all 4 of those basically within the same thing. Fib Channel, throwback to the Fibonacci retracement video that I did before. Kind of broke down and showed the Fib Channel. Now just a heads up, whether you draw this straight up and down or you were to come over to the high point, it does not change where these levels are at. If you were to draw a line right here on the golden pocket, snap it back over here, it's in the same spot. Just gonna have to take my word on it. All right, Fib Time Zone. Some of these time scale retracements, I don't know how useful they are, but as you can see, say we came down to this high to low point. What do we get? Did it work out? Yeah, we kind of bottomed here a little bit. You can almost say we kind of topped up here a little bit. It was close, but is it terribly useful? I don't know. As you can see, it's the same thing, just sideways. You got your Fib retracement lines going out over the course of time. And that's that, yeah. All right, now we get down to some interesting things that I don't often see people using, and just out of curiosity, because it's just complicated spider's web of lines going on in the pictures. I actually went and looked these up. God, I don't even know, maybe a year and a half ago. And I actually managed to get them to work out fairly well on the, I think it was on the Bitcoin daily chart, zoomed out pretty far. I kind of did it over the course of this whole last bull market. And it has its uses. I'll give it to that. But the one thing is you're going to want to use these on a separate chart, not the one that you're using every day, because, you will plaster the entire chart with lines. It is absolute madness, pandemonium, as you can see. You're just kind of doing one of these deals. And you know, with this one too, with these Gann boxes and with the Gann fans even, you're going to want to lock your price to bar ratio. Or you don't want to lock, you don't want to lock the ratio between time and price. You're going to want to set that 1-to-1. Because before you even go drawing these, there's some stuff you want to do first to help line it up when you do draw it. And especially on a you know, like the bit daily zoomed all the way out, in order to get in there and actually see the details, to be precise on the points, you know, you got to zoom in. But the problem is, like I just zoomed in right there, you changed your ratio. So you want to lock that in so you can zoom in, move around, and not lose the ratio and scale that you had going there, drawing that, because you do want it to be squared up. All right, Gann square fixed. As you can see, we got some interesting stuff. I'm sure looking at this, you could probably recognize that there's some little Fibonacci pockets going on there. You'll notice coming off of these grid squares. Is it actual fib numbers? I don't think so. It looks a little bit too equidistant. But it's interesting nonetheless. I'm not going to sit here and try to line it up for you, but that's what that does. Your Gann square. Unlike the fixed square, this one, like I was saying before, doesn't have its ratio locked 1-to-1. You can kind of do whatever with this one. And, you know, you throw it in there. Typically want to actually, you know, aim for something. Like doing it just like this is kind of stupid. It doesn't even make sense. Say you came up to this, I don't know, the last top over there, and then just eyeballed it, lining stuff up. See what we got coming off of these little bottom spikes maybe. And you could see, you know, we get a little bit of stuff going just off of that half-assed eyeball job. So that's that guy. Gann fan, somewhat similar, but you're throwing out these kind of like Fibonacci ratio. They're, you know, you got your 1-to-1, which you often want to do at like a 45-degree angle if you got everything set up right. Your 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 8-to-1. It is kind of Fibonacci because 1 + 2, 3. Oh no, that's not 5. So nope, it's garbage. It's blasphemy. That's terrible. Yeah, we'll get. I'll dig into some of these ones. Maybe we'll do like one for boxes, one for these fans. Fib Speed Resistance fan. Now, obviously, this one's a little prettier looking. You know, got the colors going. It's got Taste the Rainbow written all over it. It has the actual fib numbers. So this one, I think we'll spend a little bit more time in that video playing with. I mean, you can already see right here. Just I wasn't even trying. I just dragged it up to the current point, and you can see where, you know, we got a little correlation, looking snazzy. All right, coming down here, what do we got next? We have the trend-based fib time, which is kind of like the you know, the trend-based fib retracement, except it's for time. This one's a little bit nice. It's got the colors and all that. I think I changed the other one to straight blue lines when I was playing with it, because I don't know why. Don't ask me. I didn't do it. I don't think. No, I did it. I'm lying. All right, this one right here is, give me the tooltip, Fibonacci Circles. It certainly sounds interesting, doesn't it? Let's see. Say we go from our low to our high. Well, it's Fibonacci ellipses in this case. But all right, let's shake it out to over here a little bit. And you can see it's just radiating outlines at the fib levels. You know, so you're coming here, and clearly I wasn't being precise about any of this. There, let's just snap it up there. It's not even really great places to snap it to, but you know, you can kind of see how things tend to shake out a little bit. Yeah, Got some correlation happening. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Look at that. I'm sure there's something to it. So, you know, later on we'll jump in the sandbox and play around with it a little bit. See if we can make some magic castles in the sand. Pitch fan. You ready for this? Wow. Oh yeah, that was super fancy. Super fancy. That was like Lambo doors opening up. I know you were just freaking amazed right now. What else do we got here? Fib Spiral. This one is actually rather under impressing. This right here is your golden ratio. If you remember from the Fib retracement video, this thing right here is your graphical representation of the golden ratio. You know, if you draw it out with just a single line, a single curve, I mean, not counting this guy right there, that's just kind of your trend line. But is there a lot of use to this? I don't know. I could see how it would show up with some correlation, but there's not a lot there. Now your Fib Speed Resistance. Whoa. It's like your nuclear bomb going off. Sorry, I know. It's a little late. I am starting to get a little tired, so I start to get a little goofy, a little slap happy there, so whatever. If you don't like it, you can always change the channel, which I'm sure you probably did already. So I guess I'm just talking to myself, so I'm just going to keep being a goofy asshole. Now, honestly, just snapping right to the point where we're at right now, you can already see we're got a little bit of correlation going. I kind of missed this one here, but again, I mean, I wasn't even aiming for anything, so. And you're starting to catch the theme of all the stuff on this menu. It's generally all based off of, various forms of Fibonacci retracement. Come over here, you got your Fib wedgie. Basically the same thing, except you control how much or how far your wedgie goes. And yeah, so that is this little menu here, third down from the top. It's all your various means of finding good support and resistance levels. Although good's a relative term, but honestly, they work. They really do. Just depends how much you want to clutter up your chart. But coming over here now, the next little sub menu, this guy, frankly, we're back into the crayon box. If that was the colored pencils, you know what? No, this is the highlighters. This is the big clunky little box of highlighters. Never has any good colors. Half of them are dried out. All right, so this is your brush. If you don't know, it's how you get your Picasso on. Kind of hard to draw teeth. That's my my amoeba alligator. Oh, and when you're doing any of these, really any of them, you see this stay in drawing mode. If you turn this on, it'll just, well, the drawing tool, I think I already have it set to do that, but come over here, draw it, draw another, and basically that keeps it from exiting out every time you finish drawing something. Like here, draw one, go to draw the next one. Nope, we're dragging the screen. So yeah, that just keeps you in drawing mode. And don't forget to turn it off when you're done. Otherwise, you'll be drawing lines all over when you're trying to drag the chart, like I tend to do. Which brings us to, I'm going to skip this one, brings us to the next one, which is the rectangle. This one is actually fairly useful, because you can be over here. Maybe you don't have like a specific support and resistance line. You can come over here and you have a range. Maybe you got like a good support range, right in this area. maybe you drew out your Fibonacci retracement and you use a rectangle to draw in your golden pocket. So then when you delete the fib retracement, just to get rid of all the clutter, you still have this nice little box range where your golden pocket was. So that's the rectangle. And obviously you could change colors on all this stuff. You could change the line color and the opacity and all that happy horse droppings. So back to the highlighter. Yeah, that's what it does. That's all it does. So sure. Moving on. Ellipse, pretty straightforward. If you're wondering why would you want to draw an ellipse like that, it's not like a trend line. Well, in case you're a boy genius and you're over here and you're thinking, you know what? The price is going here. I predict it. I'm betting the house on it. I swear it on everything. Can't tell me different. The price is going right there inside that ellipse around this time. And you're like over here, like, watch, we're going to do this. We're coming up here. We're coming up there. Come back down. We're going to come up. We'll pull back a tiny bit. And we're heading straight there before we go to the moon. And, you know, it's not quite the whack-off pattern, but it's good for doing little stuff like that, especially if you're trying to show somebody things. I mean, if you're drawing it just for yourself, what the hell are you doing? I don't know. Curve. Should move the screen actually a little bit before I get into all that. Drawing the curve. Say you come over here, you come over there. Connect this up a little bit. It's not really a good spot, but all right, let's say you do something like that. You got a curve going, you got points of contact all around that place. Oh, look at that. It's going to go right into our box, or right into our ellipse. I told you. I told you. Crystal ball don't lie. Curve says it too. It's confirmation. Then we got our polyline for the less imaginative predictor of prices. You can say, well, you know what? I'm predicting that the price is going to fall within my box. 100% guaranteed price is going in the box. Doesn't matter that the box looks like, you know, a constellation that you'd see in the sky. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but you know, you're less likely to be wrong if you draw a big ass area. Just saying. All right, come down here. We got the triangle. Triangle can actually be useful, you know, when you're doing one of these guys. Although there's one that I like a little bit better than this, but it's a triangle. Doesn't take a freaking rocket scientist to figure out what that does. Rotated rectangle, which in my opinion is just kind of stupid. So there you go. You got this symmetrical rectangle that doesn't draw the way you want it to in the first place. So whatever, it's stupid. Come over here, you got the arc, which, you know, same thing as that, but it's filled in. Yippee-ki-yay. All right. Double S curve. Oh yeah, getting super fancy. Getting jiggy with it. God, how long has it been since you heard that song? Probably not long enough. All right. That's that. I don't know. Not, oops, wrong one. Not terribly useful. So there you go. There's your box of Crayola highlighters. Enjoy. Then we come over here. Now we've got like markers. You know what? That kind of works. Okay, so the tools on this list are markers. And in keeping with our Crayola theme, this here is our box of markers. You got text. You could say, I can't type today. All right, there we go. Oh, there's your note. It's nice. You're sitting there, you're like, I know it's going into that spot. I'm predicting it. With 100%. I checked it. The the on-chain metrics are all pointing in that direction. It's going to this one. So what's up, assholes? Yeah, there's your note. Okay, you come back in here, edit, change stuff, hide it. All that happy horse manure. I try not to swear. I don't know. Just whatever. Anchor text, same thing, except rather than it moving with the chart, it stays put. So, if you got a YouTube channel and you're over here trying to write out your dissertation over on the side of all the things that you are telling people that they should probably be doing because, seems like everybody's just kind of liquidating their accounts. So it's probably good advice, to be honest with you. But when you're writing that over there and you got your novel all spelled out on the side, so if you're moving the chart around, it doesn't go away. So has its uses, I suppose. Then you got note. These ones are actually kind of nice. But boom. You can just go about your day doing your thing, flipping through the chart that doesn't want to zoom in. What time frame am I on? 1 hour. Why won't you zoom? Why can't you be normal? Oh well. For some reason it's just not going past that point. But you hover the mouse over, you get your nice little note. And that's that. Come down here. Now you got anchor note, same thing as the text. It's just going to stay in one spot forever, like a lazy bum. Signpost. It's kind of hard to see with the dotted line here, but as you can see, you get this little leader going off to the text, and it will stick with that. And it just automatically snaps to the top or bottom of a candle. Yep. That's that. That one's actually not that bad as far as, little notes and such go. Tweet. If you should so be inclined to infest your crypto chart with the cancerous sludge circulating around Twitter, that's on you. But you could do that. Or you could do, insert the link to ideas. If you don't know the ideas, TradingView does all kind of interesting stuff. One of them is like kind of like blog posts where people are breaking stuff down, showing things on the chart, sharing ideas. And you can link to one of those there. Maybe there, something's going on here that's related to something you saw on the idea, or you learned something there, tried it out here, you want to link to it for later, blah, 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 blah. All right. Call out, just in case you feel the need to turn your chart into the next Batman comic. You got pow, crack. That's that. Balloon, same thing, just, I don't know, slightly, I was going to say dumber, but they're, whatever, they are what they are. They're special in their own way. Price label, move it around. Price changes. Like here, 3308, all day, baby. You know it. Price note. Basically the same thing with the long leader. Then come over here again to our little list, and we've got the arrow marker. Because that's where it's going. I done said it like 3 times already, so it's going right there into that ellipse. I'm pretty sure Carl told me so. I mean, Da Vinci's indicator told me it's going there. It said it's going right there. It gave me a buy signal. And that is the end all, be all. Damn, all right, I'm getting insulted. I'm just playing. You got your arrows left, right, up, down. Plant your flag right there because getting posted up like the man on the moon. Never coming back down. Not that that's very high up. Anyways, so then we go to the next one. We've got patterns. I'm not going to do too much with this at the moment because each of these kind of deserves a little description. I'll show you the head and shoulders because, you know, everybody likes the head and shoulders, knees and toes. And it gives you your neckline, you know, that you were perfectly capable of drawing yourself. The only thing it doesn't give you is the price prediction. Just super not useful. So say you came up here, went from the top to the neck. Yeah, I guess it kind of played out. Although I don't, that's not even accurate. So yeah, there's your head and shoulders. It was gracious enough to tell you that this is the left shoulder, and that's the right shoulder, and that's the head. In case you thought this was the right shoulder, and that was the left shoulder. Because, you know, you're dumb enough to not know which shoulder is which from your left and right, but you're smart enough to be trading. So, yeah. Friggin' nanny state. Whatever. So there you go. You got your X, A, B, C, D, your cipher, A, B, C, D, triangle, 3 drives, head, shoulders, impulse wave, triangle wave, triple combo, correction wave, double combo wave, cyclic lines, which is just more useless, time cycles. Why I'd want that is even worse than just the regular lines, I guess, but whatever. Your sine line. Whoa. You know, in case you're sitting there looking at a chart and you get so bored, you just want to throw some like rave music on, some EDM, and be like, all right. My bad. I know. I'm stupid. I'll stop. I probably won't. Come over here to this menu. We have the prediction and measurement tools. Now we get into some useful stuff again. So now we're back out of the crayons and the highlighters and the markers. Now we're over here to like the drawing pencils, getting a little bit more precise, the mechanical pencils. Over here we got the long positions. Say you went long here, boom. Maybe you set your take profit level, you set your stop loss, and then you just kind of know where it's at. You can sit here and watch it. Maybe you're like, oh no, I'm not taking profit till we get up there. You're over here like, stop loss are for cowards. Never use a stop loss. What do I look like? A peasant. So yeah, that's that. And then you got short, you know, equal but opposite. Green's on the bottom because that's where the money at. Forecast. I'm honestly, I gotta look this one up. It is quite odd to me. But let's say you went from there to there. Success! I don't know what we did, but we succeeded. And we are definitely dressed for success. Oh, okay, we failed. Hey, we're back. We were a success again. So I don't know if this is just like predicting where it's gonna go and seeing if it does, because when you're out here, you don't get anything, don't get anything, don't get anything. Success here, which maybe it's because we went higher than this point. Come up here. Failure. So that could be it. I don't know, maybe in case you needed to like prove to somebody that it was going to go over here in your ellipse and nobody believed you. Like you guys. Just saying. Date range. This is very much like the measurement tool, except it stays there. So instead of disappearing when you click, it's just stays there. It's just chilling, posted up. You know, sleeping on the couch now. You're just gonna have to get used to them. Obviously shows you the time, and it looks like a cumulative volume as well. Come over here and you get price range. Same thing, but in the price. Gives you your gain or loss percentage and amount. And if you want to get real fancy, You could do both. I know. That's too much. We ain't ready for the Louis Vuitton just yet, but you know what? I gotta throw it at you anyways. If you hold the shift key and you click, oh, look at that. You get your measuring tool. Isn't that nice? Wasn't that nice to me? Show you guys these little tricks like that. I mean, what would you do without me? But oh, it disappeared. So that's the difference. That one stays. The other one goes. Yeah, like a female, you decide which one you want. All right, bars pattern. This one definitely has a use. So let's say we want to go from here to the current candle. You could take this, boom. You could drag it, although we all know that's not what's going to happen right there. Because we all know what's really going to happen is that. I'm telling you. It's going there. I mean, it's kind of a, this is kind of a big impulse wave, but I'm telling you, it's going in the ellipse. Just FYI, like seriously though, at this point, not financial advice. I legitimately don't think it's going in there. I am just talking shit because I'm kind of talking out of my ass, using it as an example, and I don't know. I'm a weirdo, so whatever. You know, if I'm going to give an example, I'm just going to do it in a way that may be entertaining or that you just think I'm a nutcase. Either way, it's all good, though. So, come over here. We got the ghost feed. The ghost feed. So, you know what you could do with that, right? You start getting your paranormal activity on. Oh. Oh, it's looking like poltergeist, but definitely what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. One way or another. Even if we go down, that bitch is going to circle back up to my ellipse. But as you can see, it's just this like kind of faux like trend of candles that I don't know why you'd want to use that over that one that I can't find. You know, why you'd want to use that over just a nice simple line. I have no idea. But all roads point to Rome. I'm telling you. And, you know, Rome's the ellipse right there. It's happening, whether you like it or not. All right, then we get projection. So say we're at this point. Because, you know, that's where it's going. We're projecting. That is the range that the price will go in. But honestly, this one, and partially because I changed the colors that kind of look nice and pretty, this one's kind of nice for doing your patterns for your, you know, your flags and your pennants and your triangles and your wedgies. Kind of nice for that. And lastly, we have the fixed range volume profile. If you don't know what it is, you should have been watching my support and resistance video. Come on, man. Get it together. Get it together. We already discussed this. But basically, you just pick a range of time, say from here to the current candle, and boom. It gives you the volume by price range, and you can adjust all this. You know, the thick yellow line right here is the price range candle with the most volume. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, that's all I'm going to show you, because if you want to know more, you better go watch the damn video. And lastly, we have the emojis, because of course, why not? People don't speak in words anymore. They just spill their emotions in little vector pictures, icons. But let's be honest, we all know that y'all have been drawing rocket ships. So you already know where these are, because you've been drawing rocket ships. You've been drawing little moons. Because you've been over here sharing pictures with your buddies like, what the ICP is going to the moon. Safe Moon is going to the moon. Shiba Inu is going to the moon. Don't lie, you know you said it. Yeah, you know, you said it. Yeah, you got some stuff. All I can say is at least there's not a pregnant man emoji. Jeez. Killing me, Smalls. And again, you know, coming down here on the list, you got the measure tool. Like we showed before, it tells you how much time between your first click and second click, or the percentage move. So if you want to know from here to here, it went down 29.22%. Zoom in, zoom out. Again, with the magnet, the stay in drawing mode, lock all drawing tools, because, you know, sometimes you just can't stay in the lines. I mean, if you can't color in the lines, we got to lock down the coloring book, because it's just, you're ruining it. And so sometimes you just got to lock yourself out, and you just got to resist the urge to start doing MC Escher all over your damn chart. Kind of like that. So do as I say, not as I do. Hide all drawings. Fairly straightforward. Hide indicators, positions and orders, hide all. And of course, you got the trash can, which you can remove them, remove the indicators or everything. Again, little favorite toolbar. And that will wrap up our little video about the toolbar. How do we do here? How long have we been going? 51 minutes. Oh my gosh, yeah. And I tried to fly through that one too. So, all right, it's taking forever. I'm cutting it. That's just, you know, remember, we're going here. I'm telling you. All right, no, I'm just playing. All right, everybody have a fantastic day, fantastic weekend. Whenever you're watching this, live life to the fullest, because you never know when it's going to be your last. And put a couple honks in the air for the honking over in Honkistan. You know, hey, it's spreading everywhere now, so freedom. Yep. Peace.